move on now to item 2. This is a resolution recognizing and commending Vice Chair Scott for her remarkable leadership. This is the most important item we're going to be discussing at our meeting today. I want everyone to settle in, get comfortable, get some tea. And I would just like to ask you, Janea, I'll use your first name here because this is going to be personal today. I would really like to ask you to open your heart today and just to receive all of this love and celebration and gratitude from all of us. We have been together as a group, with the exception of Commissioner Monahan replacing Chair Weisenmiller a year or two ago. We've been together as a group for 8 years, and because 2020 was so intense, it sort of feels like we've been with Commissioner Monahan for 8 years as well. And so this is a big day. It's a bittersweet day for us because it's really hard to lose you. So I'm getting a little emotional here. It's really hard to lose you. You have been just at the core of the commission and all that we've done together, and it's incredible. It's billions of dollars that we've moved to amazing projects. Everything you've touched, you've made better. And I will give greater comments at the end, but I just want to say on behalf of all of us how incredibly honored we are to have had the chance to work with you, and grateful. And I know that your mother, Evelyn Scott, is on today with us. Miss Scott, I remember we had a dinner maybe a year or two ago, and you should be incredibly, incredibly proud of your daughter. So thank you for joining us. And with that, I'd like to begin with Secretary Wade Crowfoot.
Well, thanks so much. And I'm thrilled to be here in the queue to praise Commissioner Scott, who I'll also call Janea, because this is really about the relationships we've all developed over the last several years. And as I reflect on Janea's work at the Energy Commission, I can honestly say that very few people in California have been as consequential to the state's energy vision over the last decade. Consider her leadership during the Obama administration under Interior Secretary Salazar with getting large investments of renewables into California during the ARA effort, post-recession effort. And she and her colleagues in Interior are really consequential, actually getting those projects on the ground with California. Her leadership was noticed, obviously, and she was recruited by Governor Brown and his team to come to California and be more directly involved with state government. And that's obviously led to the Governor Brown's appointment of Janea onto the Energy Commission. And Janea, you've been incredible on the Energy Commission over the last several years, whether it was, long, complicated siting hearings with Karen or others, all of your many site visits actually to understand what was happening on the ground, your stewardship of the transportation investments for the state, literally hundreds of millions of dollars advancing our transportation vision that continues to march on. And most recently, the work ensuring that all of the research, development, deployment investments of the state actually move us aggressively towards all of our climate goals, including carbon neutrality. So, your vision, your intelligence, your organizational acumen, your example of leadership that you've been able to provide have just been a huge, positive, consistently, ambitious on behalf of the state. And I've heard it from so many people at the Energy Commission and beyond. You are just a leader that I think a lot of us would like to model ourselves on. So huge thanks for everything that you have gotten done on behalf of California and for all of the time and energy and passion and commitment that you've brought. I'll lastly say that we're excited, hopefully, that your work advancing our shared vision doesn't end. And in your new job as counselor to the secretary, as appropriate, you can help meet shared goals. The Interior Secretary nominee has an ambitious vision that I think aligns closely with Governor Newsom. So looking forward to continuing to move forward on all things together. And just on behalf of, our agency and all of its employees and team, thank you, Janea.
Well said, Mr. Secretary. So why don't we do this, Madam Vice Chair, if you want to just make a few welcome remarks, and then your mother, others who are on, if you want to acknowledge them, then we'll go to, we have a number of comments from other VIPs, then we'll go to commissioners, then staff, and then the public. So go ahead if you'd like to say.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Wade, for the really kind words. It's been a true pleasure to get to work with you over the years on all kinds of topics, and I know that we will continue to work together, so I'm looking forward to that very much. And I want to welcome, I think that my mom is on the Zoom, my mom, Evelyn Scott. I may have my Aunt Donna and Uncle Michael Threadgill listening on the Zoom as well. And then both my sister Marina and my little niece Abby are at school, so they may have to watch on the recording, but I have to mention them as well. So I'm just delighted to have some family and friends on the line.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, with that, why don't we go, Noemi, would you mind just calling on the folks on the list in order, and you can take it from there.
Will do, Chair. This is Noemi Gallardo, Public Advisor. I'm curious, do you want to read the resolution first, or do you want us to go with the comments first?
Oh, let's do the resolution. Actually, could you read the resolution if you have it? I don't have it open.
Yes, I can.
Oh, no, I have it right here. Sorry, I have it right here.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay, great. Okay, and this is a substantial resolution, which is deserved. So bear with me here. A lot to celebrate about you. Whereas Janea A. Scott has enthusiastically served on the California Energy Commission for the past 8 years, after first being appointed by Governor Edmund G. Brown Jr. in February of 2013 and reappointed in January of 2016. And whereas Janea was designated Vice Chair of the Energy Commission by Governor Gavin Newsom in 2019, and whereas Janea has devoted her efforts to helping lead California to 100% clean energy future for all, and whereas Janea started as the lead commissioner of the Fuels and Transportation Division, where she shaped the Clean Transportation Program, formerly known as the Alternative and Renewable Fuel and Technology Program. During her leadership of the Clean Transportation Program, she helped implement more than $750 million in clean transportation projects throughout the state, which supported California's efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, increase the adoption of zero-emission vehicles, improved air quality, promoted economic development, and reduced the state's dependence on petroleum. And whereas she then served as the lead commissioner for the Energy Research and Development Division. In that role, she oversaw the implementation of the Electric Program Investment Charge, EPIC program, the Natural Gas Research and Development Program, and both world-class research programs that advance energy research, technology, and innovation by investing in diverse clean energy projects supporting California's clean energy entrepreneurs. And whereas under her leadership, the Energy Commission's administration of the EPIC program was renewed through 2030, representing $1.5 billion of investment in clean energy research for California. And whereas Janea has served as the Energy Commission's public member during her tenure, diligently working to strengthen opportunities for all Californians to participate in and benefit from Energy Commission policies and programs, including the state's most underserved communities. And whereas Janea was an ambassador for equity and inclusion in California's energy transition, leading a multi-agency coordination effort to develop Senate Bill 350 barrier study and helping to establish the Disadvantaged Communities Advisory Group. And whereas Janea led the framing and development of the 2014 and 2019 Integrated Energy Policy Reports, which is California's primary energy policy document that provides thoughtful, comprehensive solutions to the state's pressing energy needs. And whereas Janea served as the chair and vice chair of the Western Interconnection Regional Advisory Body and as the California representative for the Western Interstate Energy Board, helping promote coordinated energy policy, interconnection, and reliability across the West. And whereas Janea spearheaded the California Energy Ports Collaborative, engaging the leaders of 6 major California seaports to collaborate on important energy issues, common challenges, and opportunities for transitioning to alternative and renewable energy technologies that align with the port's operational needs while advancing California's climate and clean energy goals. And whereas between 2013 and 2019, she supported the state's transition to zero-emission vehicles by serving as chair of the Plug-in Vehicle Collaborative and helped shepherd its transition into Veloz, a nonprofit advancing the electric car movement in California, where she sat on the public policy board. And whereas Janea has always embraced mentorship in her personal and professional life by mentoring her team, welcoming students and interns into her office, and dedicating hundreds of weekend and evening hours to local youth mentorship programs. And whereas Janea is known for her enthusiasm, dedicated leadership, focused attention to supporting Energy Commission staff by promoting their excellent work at events and through social media. And whereas Janea has spent considerable time and effort developing and maintaining an enormous network of supportive stakeholders for the Energy Commission through her collaborations and has created a deep well of external goodwill and respect for the organization's work. And whereas Janea's leadership, collegiality, innovative thinking, and pragmatic approaches, I would add sense of humor, that should be in here too, she's got a great sense of humor, have benefited California over the years. And she sent me a picture of Bernie, the one with the mittens in front of the Energy Commission dais last night. So that's she will be taking the energetic dedication and commitment that she's well known for to Washington, D.C. to serve as counselor to the Secretary of the U.S. Department of Interior. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Energy Commission hereby recognizes and commends Janea A. Scott for her many contributions to the Energy Commission and to the people of California, and that the Energy Commission wishes her the best of luck in all her future endeavors. So with that, let's turn to Madam Public Advisor, if you want to just run through the list that we have.
Yes, so first up, we will have Alice Reynolds. Alice, if you could unmute and begin your remarks.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Chair Hochschild. I'm really pleased to have this opportunity to say a few words. And I wanted to recognize Janea for all of her contributions to the state. I'll say first that unfortunately today is leaf blower day in my neighborhood, so hopefully I'm not, you're not interrupted by the background sound. So I've had the pleasure of working with Janea through 2 administrations, and there's so many amazing things that I want to say, so I'll try to be brief. But when I think back to things like putting together our plan to ramp up electric vehicle infrastructure, to implementing the SB 350 low-income barrier study report, and then more recently with all of Commissioner Scott's work on EPIC and all of the progress that we've made in that program. I remember throughout Janea's enthusiasm, her perseverance, her thoughtfulness, and also the positive atmosphere that she brings to any group. It really helped to sustain everything that we did. And, and also I think that it is really worth mentioning that throughout the efforts that we have undertaken together, she's always had a strong sense of equity and justice and making sure that we remembered all Californians as we carried forward our work. So really, Janea was thinking about California for all before it became something that, we've put on an emblem in this administration. So all of that makes me feel incredibly excited. I think I would be very, very sad if I weren't looking forward to the opportunity to continue to work with Janea. But thankfully, today we have an emotional day, one of many that we've had recently, but emotional because we have so much to look forward to in the partnership with Commissioner Scott that she'll bring forward to her new role. I think about the importance of federal lands and our partnership with the federal government in climate change and conservation efforts and all of the work that we have going forward. And I'm really thrilled and looking forward to working with Janea as part of our extended family. The thought of all of the change that we can achieve and the difference that we can make is just really humbling and amazing. So this is not goodbye. And it makes me hopeful for the state, it makes me hopeful for the nation, and really even for the world. So good luck, Janea, and I want to send all my best from the team at the governor's office. You have many, many supporters and fans, and I just wanted to communicate that on behalf of all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Matt Baker. Matt, you're welcome to turn on your video box.
Hello, Commissioner. I'll be relatively brief, but I also want to thank you for your service and for the example that you've provided. I think, looking forward to your new position as an advocate for climate, for conservation, for justice and equity. I am very, very excited to work with you in your new position. Very excited to see progress on issues that are important to California and really important to the world, like offshore wind, expanding the model that was created with the Desert Renewable Energy Conservation Plan, and all of the important work that the Interior Department will be doing. So I would just like to congratulate you both on the fantastic service that you have provided for the state of California, and I'm very much looking forward to the work that you'll be able to do, not just on behalf of California, but on behalf of the whole country and the world in these very important issues. Thank you for your service. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now we'll have Commissioner Guzman Aceves.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Commissioner Scott, for your service to this great state of California. I too, like Alice, had the pleasure of working with you over 2 administrations. But I think really over the last 2 years, I've really appreciated just the amount of detail and implementation skills that you have to get us from point A to point B, and to just not forget one piece of consideration along the way. It's been an advantage to have you as a partner on some of these recent areas that we focused on, most notably the Disadvantaged Community Advisory Group, that you not only got off, from scratch, and not much direction is often given in legislation, and this is this is a great example of that. But really, your thoughtfulness and thoroughness on just everything from really tough siting decisions to something as new and innovative as this Disadvantaged Community Advisory Group. And I certainly want to recognize your leadership in the EPIC Research and Development Program, and that collaboration, not just in really focusing the priorities of both agencies, but I think in creating a collaboration within our agencies as true sister agencies that really, I think, was enhanced by your leadership and the ability to really just foster that collaboration with professionalism and tenacity with all of our staff. And finally, I just wanted to quote, I have the advantage of participating in a little bit of a farewell remarks from the Disadvantaged Community Advisory Group. And one of the members, Andres Puente from Pocoima Beautiful, said some really eloquent remarks. And I just want to quote him because he really sums it up really well. He said, Commissioner Scott, you're a reflection of a new administration and much needed to this country, that someone so capable, someone so committed to equity is going to Washington. This is what the country needs, and our loss is a gain for the country. So thank you so much for your partnership, and I look forward to working with you as well in your new capacity.
Thank you.
And now we have a message from Commissioner Rechtschaffen, who was unable to be with us in person, but has sent over a special video. If we could play that now.
Commissioner on the California Public Utilities Commission. It's been my great pleasure to work with Commissioner Scott over the past 8 years since she came to California. I've learned a lot from her very strong leadership and deep expertise on transportation electrification issues, on Western grid issues for the many years that Commissioner Scott was chair of the Western Interconnection Regional Advisory Board, WIRAB, and also on issues relating to the Disadvantaged Communities Advisory Group, among others. I can't tell you how many times I and others have benefited from her being so super organized, calling meetings, sending out reminders, preparing agendas for everyone. She's just always on top of things. She's also super considerate and thoughtful and unfailingly positive and upbeat, no matter what, which makes it such a pleasure to work with her. You could not ask for a better collaborator. And on top of that, I think everyone will agree that she is one of the nicest people to work with. In fact, she is just one of the nicest people anywhere, period. We PUC commissioners like to have some friendly rivalries with our Energy Commission counterparts, but with Commissioner Scott, it's just not possible. There's nothing to tease her about. Commissioner Scott, good luck in your new role. We will really miss you, but I'm very happy that you will be in a position to do so much good for California and the rest of the country in these critical times.
All right, next up, we will have Mary Nichols. Mary, if you could turn on your video, you may begin.
Thank you. I wasn't sure where I was in the queue. I find that, as usual in these things, if a person has a strong personality and has made a big impression, a lot of people's reactions are going to be very similar. And that is definitely true for Janea. I can't add any more adjectives in terms of her personality and the contribution that she makes to any group that she's a part of. But I can maybe share a little bit of insight into her, which is that she is a really good person to go on a road trip with. She and I had a really fun trip from Southern California, from LA to Sacramento, with a stop to refuel a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle, broadcasting along the way and leading a little caravan of other cars and winding up, as I recall, at a watering hole somewhere in downtown Sacramento where there might have been some margaritas involved. And I think that's an illustration of not only her attitude, but her willingness to put herself out there on the line for the right cause. And this was definitely the righteous cause. We've done so much working together with the Energy Commission and the PUC, and really making electric vehicles not only the wonderful contributors that they are to the environment, but also helping to enhance the reputation of these vehicles as things that people would want to have. And that was very much a part of Janea's vision, and it fit with our overall philosophy. She is one of the founding mothers of the Velos organization, which has now gone on to be a successful nonprofit that was spun off, but it has its connections still to the state in terms of collaboration and sharing of information at all times. I first met Janea, she may not remember this, but before she came to work for the state, she worked for the Environmental Defense Fund once upon a time, a long time ago. And that was where I first met her. She wasn't a Californian then. She was definitely from some other state, a little bit across the mountains, as I recall, but she has become a Californian over this time. And so if there's one message that I want to send back to her, it is to her and with her, it is that California is definitely part of the West. We are not an island unto ourselves, and our relationship with the federal government through all the many agencies that touch on us is extremely important. So I hope when you go back there, they think of you as that California lady. Thank you so much. It's been great to work with you. We will miss you.
Thank you.
All right, next we have Carla Peterman. Carla, you may begin.
Hi, everyone. Hello, Commissioner Scott, Janea. It is my absolute pleasure to add my congratulations to you on a job well done. as well as offer our support as you take on this new adventure. So happy that you're going to be representing clean energy in California in DC. I've had the opportunity to work with you in various capacities, and whether it's been as a collaborator, a colleague, and now as a regulator, every role, every opportunity you've approached with the same pragmatism, the same integrity, the same curiosity, the same professionalism. And I can tell you that you will truly be missed by so many stakeholders. Everyone's already said it, but the contributions that you've made to energy planning, clean energy transportation, equity will be long lasting. And I have to say, on a personal note, what I'll miss the most is getting credit for all your good work. As Janea knows, over the last 8 years, we have been mistaken for each other many times, and we've not made it any better by trading hairstyles during that period. And I'll say the best time was I was attending a meeting, or like the day after a meeting, someone said to me, "Wow, you ran that meeting yesterday so well. It was so much better than any other time I went to that meeting." And I had to say, well, it was actually Commissioner Scott who ran that meeting, but I ran it last year. And so I'm really glad to hear that it's been improved. And I have to say, I can't disagree. So I am so glad we get to still swim in the same circles, and you have been a terrific person to work with in all these years. Congratulations.
Thank you, Carla.
All right, so next we have Caroline Choi on the list. I have not been able to find her in my Zoom, so just wanted to give her a chance. Caroline, if you're there, if you could either raise your hand. If you're on the phone line, press *9 to raise your hand. Give her a few seconds. All right, so we'll move forward. We have a long list. So next up will be Stan Greshner. Stan, you may unmute and turn on your video. You're muted, Stan, if you could unmute from your screen.
I'm muting. I think I'm muting out now. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Stan Greshner. I'm the Chief Policy Officer at Grid Alternatives and also the Chair of the CEC's and CPUC's Disadvantaged Community Advisory Group. It was interesting to see the pictures that were rolling at the beginning, because I saw Commissioner Scott, you with a hard hat on at a Grid Alternatives installation, helping install solar for a low-income family. So I think it's emblematic of the work you've done over the past 8 years and getting out in the community and really understanding what is needed and what the opportunities are on the equity front. So first, I want to congratulate you on your new role with the Department of Interior. Thank you so much for joining the DACAG meeting last Friday to allow all of our members to share their personal gratitude of working with you directly over the past 3 years. And thank you, Commissioner Guzman-Aceves, for sharing one of our members' one of their thoughts. You've been an extremely staunch advocate for equity during your time at the Commission, which I'm sure will carry into your role back at the Department of Interior. And for those who don't know, Commissioner Scott was central to helping our Disadvantaged Community Advisory Group get established 3 years ago. She attended nearly every one of our meetings that first year. She traveled to all of our remote meetings when we were doing that sort of thing around the state. Again, as we welcomed feedback from community members from LA and Fresno and where we were hosting them. She worked directly with us and helped our organization that was nothing, that had no identity, that had no mandate, to form our identity as an advocacy partner with the CEC. You made us a partner with the Commission, and you helped us build the foundation of the impactful group that it is today. So on behalf of the DACAG members, I again want to express our gratitude for your support and really our admiration for how you have centered equity in your work with this position. So I wish you all the best. You'll be missed in these conversations, but we will carry your equity leadership forward. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Next is Sarah Gerson. Sarah, you may begin.
Good morning. I'm Sarah Gerson, a clean energy attorney at Earth Justice. And I'm here to express Earth Justice's deep appreciation for Commissioner Scott's service to advancing clean energy, clean air, and equity at the Commission. As folks have already mentioned, Commissioner Scott has devoted significant time to making sure equity remains a part of the work of our energy agencies. And we appreciate everything she's done for the Disadvantaged Community Advisory Group and your regular participation in that. Commissioner Scott has also spent just a tremendous amount of time working to understand the unique challenges posed with cleaning up our seaports and other freight facilities, which is critical work because of the immense threats that these facilities pose to adjacent communities. So finally, these are difficult times for our planet as we work to tackle climate pollution. And we need desperately to send smart, devoted people to work in Washington, D.C. Commissioner Scott, you fit this to a T, and we wish you all the best as you head to the Department of the Interior.
Thank you.
Okay, Noemi, did you want me to go to the video now?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll go now to commissioner comments, and to kick it off, we have a little video. Let's tee that up. All right. Well, the Janea Scott celebration album is coming out later this year. Commissioner Douglas, did you have any non-musical words you wanted to share?
Yeah, I did. So we have to work with Zoom and resolution, but Janea, I'll send you the better video because we have one. I think we might overwhelm the system there, but the actual lyrics, you know, the song is "Hey There Delilah," and the actual lyrics, when I started writing them, started out "Mad at Janea," and then, you know, I had to dig deep and turn it into something, you know, a little more mature. But anyway, I'll send you the better recording. And I just wanted to say, and I don't know how much of the lyrics you can hear, but what it does trace through is the, you know, the work that you did at Department of Interior before you came to the commission, and the great progress that we were able to make working with you then. And of course, I want to acknowledge your tremendous contributions here at the Energy Commission. I've really enjoyed working with you on citing cases. We had some hard ones together. I've enjoyed working with you on just seeing, you know, the barriers report, the DACAG, diversity work, seeing your leadership on transportation, on EPIC, on IPER, our partnership of the last month or so on AB 841, which has been tremendous. And I don't know if we have a commissioner who reads quite as much as you. You read every word of everything you get, which is, you know, or so it seems to me anyway. The enthusiasm and attention to detail and positive energy that others have mentioned, the way you take the public member role very seriously and foster access and hear diverse voices that want to speak to the commission. And so I just want to thank you for your hard work and dedication and friendship over the years. And anyway, wish you luck and look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Let's go next. Sorry, Commissioner McAllister, you have to follow that act.
Yeah, I definitely think we're going to need some liner notes to this meeting, because we definitely want to read through the lyrics as well. So, but yeah, I mean, so many great points. I had all these points noted down, and I've been ticking them off as they get mentioned already. So as not to repeat every single one, but it'll be hard not to repeat some. I've really missed over the last year not having you across the wall on the other side of my wall at the Energy Commission, and hearing the laughter and just the parade, the procession of meetings that you have through your office. And, you know, we all have a lot going on, and it was really even if I couldn't quite understand what was being said across the wall, I knew that there was a lot of heavy lifting going on, and that you were really engaging with staff and stakeholders, and it was just very clear, you know, at all times. And really appreciated that openness and just the respect for process and access. Others have said, culminating, well, at least emblematic, most emblematic, I think, in the barriers report. But really throughout your whole tenure. And that's been just super helpful for the commission and getting better products across the board, not just in the areas that you happen to be overseeing. The barriers report really, I think, again, is just an example of great work that you led that is changing the narrative, that really is changing the conversation, that has legs, that has long-term impact, and that people are continuing to take seriously, and really sets the tone. The DACAG, you know, extends that kind of approach even further into the future and gives it institutional structure. So I just, it's so critical for California. We all know how important equity is, how fundamental it is to achieving our goals, and that we all know that we won't achieve them without bringing everyone along. And just the institutional structures just have to do that. And you've been really the center of that conversation during your tenure. I guess just a couple of other things. I mean, we've collaborated on a number of things. You know, when you were over transportation, we didn't necessarily intersect that much because I was buildings and you know, forecasting and some of the analytics that didn't really overlap that much with transportation. But but when you moved over to Epic, we've done a lot more together, and I've really just loved the convergence of what we do out in the world with the research that we use to develop the opportunities to do things out in the world. And that Epic, efficiency buildings kind of nexus is just, again, it's fundamental. And so having partnered with you on that, with this long-term vision that we have for the state, has just been super gratifying. And then I'll just say on the 2019 IPER, we collaborated, and to your organizational skills, I backed you up on the technical stuff when that was necessary, and the forecast and some of the nettlesome issues that we had to deal with during that IPER. But I could always breathe easy knowing that you had the kind of organizational piece of it, and we're keeping things on track and the train's running. And I could kind of parachute in when needed, and that was just a real load off of me as well, just knowing that you were competently making sure that things were happening and being organized. And so, and throughout all of that, I've just really enjoyed becoming friends and just working together with you and interacting in all sorts of social and just informal ways as well. It's just been super gratifying, and I'm sure we'll keep in touch. I know you'll be. I was actually. It's great to have you, whispering in the Interior Secretary's ear, about what happens with BLM land in California. So that'll be terrific. We have your phone number, so we'll be able to call you. And anyway, and Karen did not mention the DRECP, but I'm sure that'll come up. But anyway, really great luck. I wish we could give you a real hug instead of a virtual hug. But really, it's not goodbye, right? It's just a little bit farewell for a while. So best of luck, and thanks for everything.
Well said, Commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Monahan.
Thank you. Well, Vice Chair Scott, I was actually contemplating when we first met, and this was, of course, long before you were Vice Chair Scott. We were both working for nonprofit environmental organizations, you at EDF. I was at the Union of Concerned Scientists. And I don't know if you'll recall, but we were both intersecting on this Diesel Emission Reduction Act with Senator Voinovich. And I got to say, maybe I'm disclosing something inappropriate, but sometimes there's competition between nonprofit organizations. You would think, oh, they're all all happy to, but no, there's a lot of backstabbing, competition, and elbowing, and let's just say it can be a rough world. And we were both intersecting in this, and some of your colleagues weren't so nice. But I got to say, what stood out when I started working with you is that you were both a consummate professional, and you were so nice to work with. And I would tell everybody, I was like, oh my gosh, Janea is wonderful. Other colleagues of hers I was butting heads with, but you were just you were always thinking about well, what's the most important policy to get through, and how do we get it through? And you didn't come in with a lot of ego and mean-spiritedness. You came in with an open heart and wanting to learn from what was happening in California through the Carl Moyer program. And so it was just wonderful to work with you then, and it remains so. And I know it was about 18 years ago because my younger daughter I had just given birth to my younger daughter when I was working on all that. So let's just say I was pretty sleep deprived through that period, but I remember that very distinctly. And it was wonderful to be able to come to the Energy Commission and basically ride on your coattails. I mean, you did such a good job setting up the Clean Transportation Program and led so many seminal initiatives, the school bus replacement program, really seeing this opportunity for V2G in the school bus arena and capitalizing on that. And there were just the Ports Collaborative and just so many ways that you were thinking ahead of the curve about how can we really demonstrate that this is a clean transportation system for all. So I feel really mixed about you leaving, as everybody does. I mean, I think that you've accomplished great things here. You're going to accomplish great things for the Biden administration as well. Now we have a partner in the Biden administration in terms of advancing clean energy for all, and you are going to be such a key leader in that. I mean, every time I look at another appointment, you know, I think, wow, what an amazing group of climate leaders we have in the federal government. And it's been a long time. We're all chomping at the bit to have a positive relationship with the federal government. So I'm just really happy to know that you'll be there. And I'm assuming we're going to keep intersecting in your new job and beyond. So this is not a farewell. This is just a opportunity to really give you accolades for all you've done for California. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well said, Commissioner Monahan. Well, I'd just like to add a few thoughts about Janea, the person and the friend. We were sworn in together 8 years ago on the same day. So we've joked that it's always like twins arriving, but I remember when we first met, I realized, okay, this woman is smarter, better organized, more attractive, more popular than me, the sibling who has it all together. And really, like, it's just such a delight to become friends over the years and share Thanksgivings and dinners. And I remember, you know, before COVID, we would go out to a movie, you know, we were actually, especially in the early days before things got really busy, but you know, once a month or so, always some action movie that I didn't think I'd enjoy that you want me to go to, then I end up loving it. And they were just such great evenings to kind of release stress and just brainstorm a bit. And it really mattered a lot, Janea, you know, settling into the new job, having you there to talk to and to commiserate with, collaborate with, brainstorm with. And so much of what we talked about has come to fruition. You know, it's just amazing. I had Drew add up the amount of money we've given away at the Energy Commission since you arrived, and it's just under $4 billion. And you know, you've presided, the work you did on transportation really laid the groundwork for the governor's executive order, you know, in collaboration with CARB and others. You know, the solar mandate on new homes, the ban on incandescent light bulbs, you know, all these votes we've taken. And now this new $1 billion of infrastructure for clean transportation, charging and refueling. I mean, that is a template for the country. And so I really hope you take pride in that, and also just how you have done it, because it's just with a lot of grace and decency and competence, and you've just been a real light. So I just wanted to leave you with these words. Amanda Gorman, you know, really touched us all at the inauguration last week, and her closing line has just really been ringing very true for me. For there is always light if we have the courage to see it, if we have the courage to be it. And you know, today is a bittersweet day because we're losing you, but the sweet part of it is you're doing the right thing. I really feel you are stepping up. You are stepping into that courage to be the next thing you need to be. And I think you're going to move mountains in that new role. And we're eager to partner with you and help build this clean energy future together with you, and just so proud and grateful to work with you. So with that, we'll go to, I think we have some comments from staff.
Thank you.
Hi, Janea. This is Drew. I get to go first on behalf of staff. Others want to speak individually, and they will. But on behalf of all 750 of us, I just want to say two things. Thank you and good luck. You've been a constant bright light in the 8 years we've worked together. And in both transportation and R&D, you motivated staff. You motivated them to develop creative ideas and do their best and take chances. Your support really helped our staff flourish. And you always knew that you were the public member and what that meant, and your representation of all Californians, regardless of whether they pay attention to what we do every day or don't frankly even know we exist, I think was really laudable. As you heard from so many outside the CEC, you've been a tremendous ambassador for our organization everywhere you go, and we hope that will continue when you move on from us. We're going to miss you. We're rooting for big things in DC, and we wish you the very best. You've been a great boss and mentor, and again, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is Lori Tenhope. Lori, you may begin.
Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to speak on behalf of staff. We've certainly heard about your power as a leader in the energy space. And I just want to speak a little bit to your leadership of staff. the same attributes that people speak to that have made you so impactful in the, in the energy policy space have really helped to boost staff's confidence and to reinforce the value of their work. You value science, you value the power of innovation, and obviously that supports our policy goals. It also supports our staff who come to this job because they care about the same thing. And sometimes the work is hard, but to get a personal reinforcement that the work matters, that it makes a difference, and that you see the staff as individuals. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to personally acknowledge staff and really acknowledge them personally. The vice chair takes time to thank staff after business meetings, after personal briefings in her office, with enthusiasm, appreciation, and that really means it means a lot. We had a chance in our lead commissioner briefing to do a personal goodbye. And I just want to share, one staff person who it kind of exemplifies staff's experience with the vice chair. He said when he was young in his career, he heard that he was going to travel with the vice chair on a 3-hour site visit, and he was super nervous. I'm going to be with a commissioner. What are we going to talk about? This is just, this is frightening. And he said what a fantastic experience it was, just to have, real conversation with a real person and felt like, he built a friendship. So I thank you. Thank you for that. I want to close with just a little symbol of our R&D lead commissioner briefings. We work with the vice chair on our research programs and the food processing program. And, most of the meetings are really to seek her guidance on our next steps on our program. But we always close the program with an example of a project success, and we call it our home run or base hit portion of the program. And just to carry that baseball analogy, I just want to say ERDD feels like we hit the grand slam when we got the vice chair for our to oversee our program, and just want to thank her for her enthusiasm, her kindness, and her vision and leadership with the research program. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, next is Siva. Go ahead, Siva.
Good morning, commissioners, and good morning, Vice Chair. I've been debating whether to make a comment or not. Matt Coldwell was going to make a comment on behalf of EAD, and he's going to do a much better job than I do. So, but I just didn't want to miss out on the opportunity to publicly say thank you to you. There is a number of thought leaders that already have talked about your accomplishments and your contribution to the state of California. So I do not feel in the same league to be able to say those kind of things, but I just wanted to share a couple of things that you have helped foster. So for EAD staff, I joined the assessments division during a transitional period for ZEVs and the forecasting. I just wanted to thank you so much for your thoughtfulness and your ability to dig into the details and being able to advise on how to think about the forecasting and the idea about developing a variety of scenarios to kind of think about futures that we could get to and how we could get to. So just want to appreciate all the support that you showed us in helping us go through that moment, which was very difficult for staff to kind of think through. I also want to just thank you for, and I don't know if you recall, you gave us a complete day sitting with us on a strategic planning exercise. And that just kind of speaks to your kind of dedication to staff and helping them succeed and shine. And I just, Lori kind of mentioned this very beautifully. Just your support of the staff and helping them shine has been incredible for us. Personally, I also had a chance to travel with you a couple of times, and my experience was very similar. which was I was petrified to go out with you for the first couple of times. I didn't know what, it's a commissioner, we're kind of still figuring out the forecasting. I don't want to be in trouble, but you have shown your amazing personal side and connection. And the things that I took away from that is your kindness and your love for your family. You spoke about your mother, you spoke about your sisters, you spoke about your niece. It was just so beautiful to connect with you on a personal level and develop that kind of relationship with you. So thank you. And I will forever brag about the walks I had with you once you leave. So I will talk about the walks with Vice Chair Scott, talking about life and justice and everything together. And finally, I spoke to Nora this morning and I told her that today's was your last day. And Nora just wanted me to thank you again for the wonderful bread that you baked. And she told me that that's her favorite bread ever. So thank you for everything you've done for the division, for the commission, and for me personally, helping me grow. Thank you so much and all the very best.
Thank you.
All right, so Vice Chair Scott, next up, we're going to have some of your current and former advisors, starting with Retta. Go ahead, Retta.
Hi, Janea. I just wanted to take a minute here today to personally say thank you so very much for everything over the years. We've spent a good portion of my time here at the Commission and almost all of your time really working together, and it has truly been such an honor and a pleasure. I feel like you really took a chance on me when I was one of the younger staff and didn't have a lot of experience. And I just learned so much under your leadership, not just about energy and policy and technology. There's a lot of that, of course, but also the intangibles, like how to lead with vision and purpose, how to cultivate and foster a collaborative team environment, and how to inspire confidence in others. Not only did you welcome me into your office, but you've always been so encouraging and supportive, always giving me the bandwidth to explore areas that I was interested in learning more about and creating opportunities and space for me to work on the skills I wanted to develop. I think anyone who's spent any amount of time in your office can attest to the fact that we automatically have a built-in cheerleader in you, which is just amazing. You're always quick to send an email with kind words expressing your appreciation, always willing to carve time out to check in regardless of how busy your day is. And I know firsthand how busy your days are. And coming to work every day knowing that you have that level of support really does make a difference. It's been such a privilege working with you over the years, one that I certainly don't take for granted. And while I'm so incredibly sad to see you go, I look forward to seeing all the things that you accomplish in your next role. So thank you for being such a great boss. Thank you for being such a great mentor. And on a personal note, thank you for becoming a great friend.
Thanks, Retta.
Next is Mona. You may begin, Mona.
Hi, I'm also an advisor with Vice Chair Scott's office, and as another member of the Janea Scott fan club, I just want to thank you, Janea. I know you're going to hear this several times in the coming days, but I especially want to thank you for your tremendous enthusiasm for all things energy and your enthusiasm and support for the people that you work with. I got to see firsthand many of the benefits that you've brought to California and our diverse communities, and it's really inspiring. I have learned so much during my short time with your office. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Mona.
Next, we have Linda. Linda, you may begin.
Good morning. I also want to personally thank you, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity, Janea. It has been an inspiration to watch you lead these past 8 years and to see you passionately and effectively help California move towards a clean energy future. I had the honor and privilege to serve as your advisor during part of your time at the Commission, and I'm so grateful to have learned so much from you. And this has been said before, but I want to just emphasize that you have an incredible capacity to connect with anyone who crosses your path, and you adapt to challenges, the most challenging circumstances very quickly. And it was incredible to see you make time to mentor and inspire others to follow their dreams. And I will always remember how you had just incredible schedules, super, super busy, and you always found time to write thank you notes to people that participated at, for example, at the EPIC symposiums and other events. And that was just very inspirational. And I hope to follow that quality you have throughout my career. And another quality that I just love is that you're always so enthusiastic about your work, and it's really infectious. And last, I want to say that I'm just very grateful for you as an inspiring woman and a terrific friend. And thank you for showing me and all the other advisors how to be a great leader. I'm very excited for what you're going to embark on in your next adventure at the federal level. I will miss you a lot here in California, but I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. And like everybody else, I wish you the very best in your new role.
Thank you, Linda.
All right, next we have Matt.
Janea, how are you? So it's funny, Stephen mentioned I was going to make some comments on behalf of the division, but there's no way I can sort of top what he shared. I thought that was beautifully put, and so I'll just second what he said. One thing I was going to note is, ironically, this year is the year we're going to finally tackle that time to station issue that you've been talking to us about on the transportation forecast. So I'll try my best to keep you updated on that while you're in DC. So, but more personally, I mean, others, Linda and Mona and Retta, they all said all the wonderful things about you that I could repeat, and so I'll just second that. And you took a chance on me almost 5 years ago now, and I got to serve in your office for about 3 years, and it's 3 years that I'll never ever forget. And we did so many wonderful things. All the traveling that we did. I don't think I've been in so many airports in such a short time span in my life, and just all the meetings, and it was just while it was work, it never really felt like work. It always just felt like we were out there doing good, and it was we sort of followed your lead, and your leadership was just amazing during the time that I worked in your office, and then even since I've left with your leadership over the Energy Assessments Division. So one story I wanted to tell is I still remember when you called me again almost 5 years ago to offer me the position as advisor in your office, and I was obviously beyond excited, and I took the call, and I was in the CEC building, and as soon as I hung up with you, I ran down the street to the other side of the park and jumped up and down and celebrated, and I'm pretty sure everybody over there thought I was losing my mind. So but that's how much it meant to me. And so I just, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for taking that chance on me. And obviously you're super sad that you're leaving, but also I'm so excited for you about where you're going. So all the best to you in the future going forward. So thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Next we'll have Patrick.
Thank you, Noemi. And hear all these things that people are saying about Janea, all true. I've had the pleasure to work with Janea for the past year, and it's been one of the most rewarding work experiences that I've ever had. I'm another person that Janea took a chance on. Janea and her two advisors at the time, Rita Demessa and Linda Burr, took a chance on me, and I was able to become a student assistant in her office, for which I'm forever grateful. I once asked Chair Hostfield, how do you have a career instead of just holding down a job? And he told me that when you have a true passion for what you do, it no longer feels like work, and your career kind of lines itself up, and you found it at that moment. And I don't think there's anybody more exemplary of that fact than Janea Scott. Janea lightens up every meeting we've ever been in, whether it's in person or virtual. She's always making people laugh. She gets people excited about what they do. People just can't get enough of Janea, honestly. And she brings that true passion to her work, and the passion that is often contagious and inspiring. When you work alongside Janea, it doesn't feel like you're working so much as you're trying to solve like an interesting puzzle, is what it feels like. She's always asking the important questions. You know, she catches things in meetings that I would never catch. But it's great to see that because, you know, it inspires me and it educates me further about the things that she knows so much about. She has such an extensive breadth of knowledge about the field she works in. And anybody who's worked alongside Janea can attest to these things. She has, when you hear her speak of the California Energy Commission and the work that it does, you can tell that she's truly proud of what she does and what the organization has accomplished as a whole. I wish I had had more time in the office to work with Janea, but I know that she's off to better things. I congratulate you on your new position, Janea. I think you're going to be amazing out there. And it's funny, you know, when I first was told by Janea that she wasn't going to seek reappointment, I was in my living room. My roommate was next to me, and I read the email out aloud. And he goes, "Wow, like, where do you think she'll end up? She's got a lot of like skills and stuff." Because he's always heard about Janea before. And I said, "Well, she's either going to work for Biden, or she's gearing up to take his job in 2024." So I guess I was half right. And maybe in 4 years, I'll be 100% right. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. You know, with Janea, it always feels like anything is possible. We work alongside her. Anyways, thank you, Janea, for being my boss and mentor this past year, despite everything that's happened and all the circumstances we've had to adapt to. I'll be forever grateful for your tutelage and the tutelage of the advisors I've been lucky enough to work under.
Thank you, Patrick.
So now we'll have Courtney. You may begin.
Great. Hey, Janea. So, I mean, frankly, I wouldn't be at the Energy Commission if it wasn't for you, since you're the one who hired me many years ago. You know, Mary referenced some of those trips we took together pre-COVID. And I think you both really taught me, work hard, yes, but it's also good to have a little fun while you're doing it. So thank you for that time together. Thank you for always being an ally to me, which I know you will only continue to be, not just for me, but really for all of California and what we're working for here now that Ms. Scott goes back to Washington. So congratulations, and look forward to working with you in your new role. Cheers.
Thank you, Courtney.
All right, so we have Jim Bartrich who would like to make a comment. I just converted him to panelist. So Jim, you may unmute and turn on your video box and begin.
Good morning, Janea, or Commissioner, excuse me, Vice Chair. I remember your first day, and I learned a lot from you. It was a great experience. Everything that's been said today, I can't say better. Kindness, your attention to detail, just getting in, putting your head down and doing the work. I remember working closely with you to reauthorize AB 8 and really set the future for transportation of where we are today. I also remember running down the hall between yours and Commissioner, now Chair Hochschild, trying to be an advisor to both offices. And it was crazy times, a lot of great fun, and I wish you the best going forward. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, Chair, that was the last comment that is coming through Zoom, excuse me. We do have a few people on the Verizon line.
Oh, we do. Okay, let's go to those. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to, this is Noemi Gallardo, the public advisor. We're going to our Verizon line. We're going to start off with Holly Taylor. And Holly, please, if you could spell your name and state your affiliation if you have one. You may begin, Holly. All right, we're not hearing Holly. Want to make sure that looks like the line is open on the Verizon side, but we are not hearing her. All right, Holly, I'm going to give you one more chance. We do want to hear from you. Your line is open. You may begin speaking. Okay, we might be having a problem with our Verizon line. So let me check on another person that's in the queue on Verizon. Steve Black, could we open up his line?
I can, I don't know if, can you hear me?
We hear you.
We can hear you,
Yes.
Steve. Yep.
All right, great. Well, thank you, Chair Hochschild and Commissioners, Commissioner Scott, soon to be Councilor Scott. This has been so much fun. I just have to tell you, I've been thrilled to listen to the comments, the tributes to Janea. I hope you don't mind if I make this a little personal. I am so proud of you. So proud of your leadership, your wisdom, and really couldn't agree more with all of the comments that have been made. I can hardly believe it was 12 years ago that I interviewed you to hire you as my special assistant and then soon my deputy. And now you're taking my old job. I couldn't be happier, couldn't be more proud of you. I am excited that you will continue the strong partnership between the federal government and the state of California. As a fellow Coloradan, certainly appreciate your roots and feel also privileged to be an adopted Californian. I want to channel our former boss, Secretary Salazar, who used to refer to Janea as my Janea. And, you know, I'd like to say I wish I could claim a little bit of credit for teaching you everything you know, but obviously we both know that's not true. When we started together in the first part of 2009, we had an ambitious agenda, of course, to stand up a renewable energy program at the department and to partner with the state of California. And you made that happen. You, through all of the organizational skills that you have and that have already been mentioned, but also your deep background at EDF and as a lawyer, brought a skill set to the table and a personality that enabled us to get things done. So I'm confident that you will continue in that role, and for Secretary Holland, really represent the entire state of California and the West as she looks to continue to stand up renewable energy on public lands, but help us meet our climate goals. So as a friend and member of this family, just wanted to say it's been a real privilege to listen in today. Thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, so we have Grace Anderson who would like to speak, and she's actually on Zoom now. So Grace, if you would unmute, you may begin.
Thank you very much. Hello, good morning. I work in EAD. I am the staff lead for Western Collaboration Initiatives there. Commissioner Scott has been a blessing to California and the CEC. When she was first appointed, young, intelligent, qualified, capable, and calm, it affirmed my faith that everything would be well, not just okay. I was personally highly fortunate and amazed when, in addition to all of the California responsibilities you've heard about today, she found the willingness to chair an essential Western state organization, as you know, YREB. This was huge for us because leadership in the West is essential to achieving outcomes positive for California, especially our low carbon future and a reliable, resilient Western electric grid. In her YRAB role, Janea demonstrated the qualities essential to good leadership. She innately understood that California, the 600-pound gorilla, would not be effective. She recognized her job was not to advocate for California's parochial interests, but rather to lead the Western states, blue and red, fossil and renewable, to consensus outcomes. She did this successfully and is held in the highest regard and remains the vice chair today. Personally, I've been blessed not only in the Western arena, but in friendship. Janea truly cares for other people in her work and her life. She always asked for my advice. She watched over and mentored me. I'm ever grateful. I offer gratitude and a celebratory cheer as she moves along to apply her multitude of abilities in the wise stewardship of America's natural places and resources. I truly hope she will recall John Muir as best she can. He always encouraged politicians to keep it wild. And we need to do this for all present and not yet born Americans. Janea is California's own version of Amanda, the inaugural poet. May she be safe and free in this next episode of her professional journey. And I don't know if you can see, I think you can. I have a bouquet of roses here, which I'm virtually presenting to her. And also it's adorned with pearls, which I know she'll remember to wear as she takes on the power structure, because she will need all the help she can get. And I'll close by thanking her for the willingness to take on this next huge challenge. Thank you very much, Janea.
Thank you, Grace.
All right, we have one more person coming through. Holly, I have converted you to panelist if you'd like to begin. There you go.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you for making that work. My name is Holly Taylor. I'm the Director of State, Federal, and International Affairs for the Western Interstate Energy Board, also known as WEEB. And I'm really delighted to join you all for this discussion and this celebration of Janea. Janea, it is my great honor to represent WEEB, YRAB, Mari, Eric, and all of the WEEB and YRAB staff today in extending a note of our sincerest thanks and congratulations. As noted in the resolution and by Grace, thank you, Grace, Janea has served as California's representative to the Western Interstate Energy Board, or also known as WEEB. In that capacity, she's successfully engaged in many collaborative and productive discussions with WEEB's member states and provinces on key energy policy issues. She also served as both vice chair and chair to the Western Interconnection Regional Advisory Body, YRAB, where she focused on specifically on matters of electric grid reliability. Janea, you have provided valuable leadership, direction, representation to both of those organizations, both at a regional and national level, and we couldn't have had the same presence without you. We so appreciate you. You've been a thoughtful partner to your colleagues. You've been a remarkable mentor and a role model to myself and to others. Your bright smile and your brilliant energy are just contagious, and I see that reflected in all the people around you. You've been just an absolute joy to work with, and we do wish you the very best in your new role. Thank you, and because she's on the line, to your mother, thank you. Janea is a gift to everyone who knows her. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly.
This is Noemi, the public advisor. So Chair, that was the final comment.
Okay, well, how appropriate to end with that. Thank you, Holly, for those beautiful words. Janea is a gift. What an hour and a half it's been. Poetry, roses, pearls, and gratitude. Let's turn it back to the Vice Chair for any closing thoughts.
Well, I do have some closing thoughts, and I'm happy that I wrote them down yesterday because I'm just overwhelmed by everyone's really kind and thoughtful words. It has been such a wonderful ride for me. It was a very, very tough decision to decide to not seek reappointment because I love the commission. I love the work that we're doing. I love the difference that we are able to make every day. And it is, I think my intern Patrick mentioned it. If you are doing what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And I feel that very strongly about the work at the Energy Commission. I really want to say thank you to Governor Brown for appointing me, and thank you to Governor Newsom for designating me as the vice chair. I really appreciate them giving this incredible opportunity to me. It's just been such an honor and a privilege to get to work on behalf of the people of California on these really important clean energy and climate and equity, and that translates into clean air and other things, all of that. I was going to highlight a couple of the things that I have been so proud to help work on. One is within the Clean Transportation Program, which, as you all know, invests up to $100 million every year in transforming transportation. And I remember when we started, the Energy Commission was one of the only games in town in terms of getting chargers out there for battery electric cars. And we have built the largest open retail hydrogen network in the world with 62 hydrogen refueling stations. And so we went from a place where I remember celebrating 100,000 ZEVs on California's roads. And now we're close to 1 million and having infrastructure all over the place. And I'm really excited and proud of the work that we did there. I'm really proud of the partnership that we built with the ports. It's the ports of San Diego, Long Beach, Los Angeles, Wainimi, Stockton, and Oakland. They have been just amazing partners and really helping us demonstrate all types of clean energy, whether it's microgrids, whether it's where to put the refueling in a really busy port, whether it's what types of equipment work best in what areas. They have just been a fantastic partner, and I was thrilled to have the opportunity to collaborate with them. The research portfolio, I'm so excited about our research portfolio. You heard from Lori Tenhope. It is, depending on the year, almost up to $200 million between the food production investment program, the EPIC program, the natural gas program. And this program has been around for decades. We were just able to renew it last year in August for another decade for EPIC. And the level of entrepreneurship, the creativity, the types of technologies, I would guess that, well, I shouldn't guess, but I think just many of the clean energy technologies that people have in their homes that they use that help with energy efficiency, that help buildings talk to vehicles, vehicles talk to the grid, all of that, the EPIC team has had a hand in helping put together. And it's just really exciting to see that program. And the program itself has leveraged more than $2.2 billion of private investment as well. And that to me is a really exciting space. I think the state can kickstart a bunch of things and then the private sector grabs it and pulls it into the market. And that's how we transform how we use energy across California. I'm really proud of the partnership that we had with the military, We got to travel to some really interesting parts of California where the military bases are. But again, in that same way with ports, we're looking at microgrids and lighting and energy efficiency and how to get more zero emission vehicles and just how do we all use energy together in a much smarter way and work towards decarbonization. And so having these powerful partners around the state helping to demonstrate this it has just been incredible. And I also want to mention the ability to uplift equity and diversity. And we've done that internally. One of the first things I did with Chair Weisenmiller was we put in place a resolution for equity and diversity for the Energy Commission itself. We want the staff at the Energy Commission to reflect the diversity and breadth of our state, and also in our contracting and also in the grants that we give out. And how can we really make sure that communities are deciding for themselves what they would like to see and how can we support within the clean energy space and how can we support that? And so the work that I've gotten to do with our disadvantaged community advisory group, with some of the tribes, with some of the rural areas of the state it's really been a privilege and a true opportunity to get to carry out these initiatives. And as people mentioned, we've had some fun along the way. I just want to note, I had a chance to see some petroglyphs one time out at China Lake. Especially Commissioner Douglas and myself, we have visited Californians from all over the state when we've been working on some of the siting cases. And it's just great to get to see people and meet them and hear from them directly in the places where they live. Mary Nichols mentioned our fantastic and fun drive in hydrogen cars from Los Angeles to Sacramento. You would never think a road trip would be that much fun, but it was just a really great time. And we demonstrated that, and that was several years ago, that you can drive almost from one end of California to the other in a zero emission vehicle, stop for refueling. It took 10 minutes and then keep on going. And it just was so much fun. Commissioner Hochschild and I have had a chance to be in a convoy simulator and in a helicopter simulator. So driving all around, I guess we're flying all over San Diego in that helicopter simulator that one time. It was super fun. There's just been so many things that have been just a true honor and a true privilege to get to do as part of this job. And one of them has been getting to know all of you. I feel like we really have made a family. And I just want to say thank you so much to my team over the years. You heard from a bunch of them, Jim Bartridge, Leslie Camaracito, Courtney Smith, Amy Brousseau, O'Shea Bennett, Monica Shelley, Matt Coldwell, Linda Barrera, lots of smart and enthusiastic interns, the deputies of the programs, and most especially Lori Tenhope, who I've been working with most recently. And then, of course, my current team, which is Mina Holloway, Patrick McCann Kingston, Mona Batty, and Retta DeMesa. I just wouldn't have been able to accomplish what I was able to accomplish without all of them at my back. And so I really appreciate all of the fantastic work that they have done. And then my fellow commissioners wanted to just reflect on each of you just a little bit. It's been so much fun to get to work with all of you. I think we are such a fantastic team together. And I will miss every day getting to work with you. And I thought maybe I would just tell a little personal story for each, which is with, Patty. One of the things that I'll always remember you and I, when we were in China, and how you went toe to toe with that rickshaw driver because we were not paying him 1 extra cent more than what you thought was a fair price for the ride that we had been on. I was quite impressed with that. Andrew, I remember that you came down to the Art Rosenfeld room to meet me before I had even started. I'm trying to remember what I was doing there, but it just was so nice to meet you on that very first day. And I want to note that one of the things I like most about you is when you describe your travels, you may be more likely to describe the various appliances that you saw, the faucets, the shower heads, the stoves, than you are to talk about maybe the people that you met or the places that you saw. Karen, you and I have traveled all over the state, as I mentioned, for sighting, and we have been some places. We've been from Cobb to Oxnard to Blythe, and many places in between. And I appreciate that you are always up for a good hiking adventure or always up for a good eating adventure. And I do recall one time, I think we were on our way to Blythe, where we discovered the best sandwich shop in the whole world. And it did have delightful, really yummy sandwiches. And who knew that it was there, right in the middle of the Southern California desert, the best sandwich shop in the world. David, as you mentioned, we were announced on the same day and we started this job within weeks of one another. And I just, in learning Sacramento, going to the movies, thank you for going to my lowbrow choices of movies. It was always so much fun, and just learning this business of commissionering together has been a true joy. I want to say that, as I mentioned, the commission has felt like home. We do important and impactful work together, from our IT team to our audits team, from the contract grants and loans team to the programs team. Every individual at the Energy Commission makes a difference every day. And so I wanted to close my remarks to you all just by reading a quote that I used it when Chair Weisenmiller left the commission, but it's one of my favorite quotes, and I think a lot about this when I think about public service and working together with all of the folks from the Energy Commission to make this state a better place. And it's from a speech called Citizenship in a Republic. And it's a speech that Teddy Roosevelt gave in Paris in April of 1910. And what he said is, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows, in the end, the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." And I just wanted to say, I can't think of any better set of people to be in the arena with. It has been a true honor and a privilege for me to be in the arena with all of you. So thank you so very much.
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you, Janea, for sharing that, and for a really restorative hour and a half. Just hearing all of this, it's wonderful. I think it's a great way to begin the new year. And we've talked about this before. This is not just a job. This is a mission, and we're all in it together. And so everything that you brought to California as vice chair of the Energy Commission, we want to support you in bringing that to the whole country. And we got your back, and we will be partnering with you the whole way. So thank you to everybody. Thanks for all the stakeholders and commissioners who spoke. All right.